everyone, how are you? I hope you are good. And I am Jedi, short for Jedida Chilifeskalesa, and I'm speaking to you from Massachusetts, US. I live about 90 minutes from the Boston area, and I'm very excited to be part of today's workshop. So many thanks to Miss Grace Kakoma who invited me to be a part of this. And I just want to say this is an exciting opportunity, and I'm very proud of each of you for showing up, for continuing to learn, and for daring to dream beyond where you are. I mean, just by that, you're already on your way to your future goal, your future dreams. And so today, I'm just going to share 3 things, and I will make sure that I don't forget anything. And so I have notes in front of me. Just to make sure I cover everything. So I'll start with my story. My story, which is just like each of you. I was once a student sitting in a classroom, Ndola, then Mukushi, and then Unza, and then I came over here. So I'll share my story and just like how everything unfolded, and then I'll go on to just talk about from my experience about the main tips for how you can dream big but start small, and then finally the fact that you actually have to start now, which I believe you've already started. Okay, so what is my story? So like I said, I was a student just like you. I was sitting in a classroom. I did my primary school at Ndola Modern Primary School. I'm not even sure if that school exists. I should find out. So in Ndola, grade 1 to grade 7, and then I went to a boarding school in for secondary school, and my family came from a humble background, so humble upbringing, and so I went to a great school, but I went on a scholarship based on the fact that my dad was a pastor. I went to Chengalo Secondary School, and then whilst I was there, no, actually, so I had a dream to be a medical doctor, and I think it's kind of like a dream for most of us. Where like once you get into science, the only thing you know is, oh, I want to be a doctor. We have no idea of any other careers out there. So I wanted to be a doctor, and then throughout my secondary school, that was my dream. So once I finished school, now it's like, okay, let's go to college. School fees were an issue because during my secondary school, I was sponsored by through scholarships, but then that wasn't the case in university. And so I actually delayed going to university. By the time I actually went to Unza, it had been 4 years. 4 years were like, in that time, I should have finished a degree, I should have started working, but I just did a lot of things in that time, which I appreciate in hindsight because like they really helped me like know what I really wanted to do. I grew, I matured. By the time I was going to Unza, I was actually a soft chewy, but like I was very focused. I knew what I wanted, and I had tried to apply for so many scholarships, so many colleges, in Zambia, outside of Zambia, and so I just want to tell you that our paths are not always like straightforward. You don't have like a one path. They always kind of go like weave in and out, but like just keep going, because the path that led me to where I am now was not a straight path. I had to like learn lots of things, and every experience that you get, it's really contributes to like your future. So for me, for example, in that 4 years, I did like tuition. I taught music. I learned music. I started a business. I taught computers, like private computers, to people from my church, in my mom's house. I worked for my uncle, had a studio. But through all those things, and I also worked at my old school, my secondary school. I worked in the nurse office. I worked in the hostel, like so many different things. But like everything kind of like still contributed to like my skills of communication, leadership, planning, organization, just so many things. I also worked in what's that thing called, a procuring company, purchase and supply company. So all those things were happening in those 4 years, and it had nothing to do with like actual medicine or actual science, but still those things they still contributed to like me pursuing research and science, and now having a doctor in philosophy, in biology, those things still contributed. So I just want to say that whatever you're doing now, like everything you do, they contribute to you. You still gain skills, you still gain knowledge that no one can take away from you. And so that was me after a time where I was now finally going to UNZA for university. And even then, UNZA is crazy, as everybody would know. But you know, just through the process, the hard work, and everything that I did, and just like, you know, people who we meet, professors who we meet, the lecturers. By the time I was completing, I really like had a better idea of like what I wanted to do. And so through that time, I realized to say, you know what, I wanted to do medicine, but I'm actually scared of blood. I'm scared of like people getting hurt. I'm scared of like the hospital. What am I doing? Why would I want to do medicine? Because it's expected. And so I realized that I love teaching and I love learning, and so I said, okay, I think I want to be a lecturer when I grow up. And so that's the path that actually like finally brought me here. And so after I finished at UNZA, the next step was now find a scholarship, find a place where you can actually pursue masters, so that you can actually become a lecturer, because that's like the minimum you can do to become a lecturer. And again, my scholarship journey began, and it was not straightforward. Also, so many applications, so many rejections, and I always avoided applying to the US, because I knew that the US has a different academic system, and that's all the movies you watch about, you know, college students, and I'm just like, oh, I'm not sure. But finally, I applied to the US, and that's how I got a scholarship, and that's how I came here. And so since coming, I was like, you know what, we need to have more Zambians, because the truth is there are very few Zambians in these American universities. Like everywhere I've gone, either I'm the only student or there's like one or two more Zambian university students. So we're on a mission to say like we need to help more people gain those apply for those scholarships. And so this will lead me to the next step, the next part of my talk today, which will hopefully motivate you and just get you thinking about your path and your goals. Yes, one thing I want to say is that through the challenges that we all face, challenges that I face, I knew that education can definitely change a lot. Education actually is a big path to like freedom, to just opportunities, and we keep learning. We never stop learning. Like I have a bachelor's degree, master's degree, PhD degree, but I'm still learning. And we also learn from everyone around us, whether someone has a PhD or a bachelor or secondary school education. Like we all learn from each other, and that's something I just want to say. Like no matter what stage you're at right now, you should just like pursue learning and learn from everyone around you. It's not about like what kind of, you know, title someone has or system that you're looking at. Just keep learning, because that's really, really powerful. And so today I have taught and mentored hundreds of students, both in the US and also in Zambia. And through that mentorship, I've really, really learned the power of like just like helping one another. And so we have a mentoring program called based in Zambia, which was like our first mentoring body. It's called Jusinia Mentoring Institute. Jusinia brings two words together, junior and seniors. And this is because we believe that at every stage in life that we're at, all of us are either we're at a junior stage for something, and then at a senior stage for something. And so in this case, the seniors, based on their experiences, on their successes, on their failures, they actually provide mentorship and guidance to those at the junior stage. So when we started Jusinia Mentoring Institute, we were in grad school, the co-founders. I was in my first year of PhD. The co-founder was in his third year of PhD, I believe, and we had students who we had taught in as while they were in high school. Some of them were already in college, some were finishing their high school, and we're like, let's provide mentorship to them, and then they can provide mentorship to those below them. And this is how we operate, because we know that we each have valuable experience. Through our success, through our failures, we can provide that mentorship to others. And so that's how we started providing mentorship, because we realized that mentoring was really lacking. And the fact that, for example, like in our case, like when I was applying for scholarships, I didn't know anyone, and I didn't have anyone guide me to say, oh, this is how you apply for a scholarship, this is how you do it, this is how the system works in America, this is the education, this is like the scholarship process in America. Like, no one told us that. And so applying for scholarships for school and trying to go for your dream, it takes a lot, and sometimes you can actually want to give up. Like, we could have given up. We actually at some point were like, okay, this thing is not working, because scholarships are competitive. You rarely get a yes on your first application. You have to apply to like so many. I applied to so many before I got my yes and my scholarship. And so we believe that if we can actually like use our experience to help people, others don't have to go through what we went through. We don't have to go through hundreds of applications, just like do so much research and just like feel like you're on your own and you give up. You don't have to, because we can actually use our experience to actually help you. And so from that, we now have other mentorship branches that have come from that. So we just have for example, we have a specific mentoring program, which is just for helping students apply for college and scholarships in the US. So they want to apply for a bachelor degree, a master's degree, or a PhD degree. And so if you have a secondary school education, you have completed your secondary school, or you're about to complete, or you're like in grade 12 right now, you can actually apply for bachelor degree right now. Applications are open, and you can start school next year, September 2026. And so you don't have to have top grades, you just have to have decent grades, but you have to make sure that you and we work with you with this, like you have to make sure that you put more than just education in your like portfolio, or like you as a person. You have to volunteer, think about things you do at church, the things you did at school, the clubs you attended, volunteering at a non-profit, mentoring others. You can join a mentoring program, because we've had our own mentors and mentees who have actually talked about the mentoring program that we have. The fact that they were mentors and also mentees has actually helped them gain a scholarship, get a job, get admission into a school. So it's really, really, really important. And so we're inviting you, if you're interested, to join our group. We have a USS scholarship mentoring program called SAGE USS Scholarship Mentoring Program, and you can join us, or you can join us in Justinia Mentoring Institute. Justinia is more broad because it has like everyone, people who are students, people who've graduated, school leavers. We have people who have businesses, we have people who are working, we have parents, we have business owners. And so that one has everyone. So then that's a place where we are there to mentor each other, and also peer mentoring. Same level, if for example 2 people have a business, they can mentor each other, but also junior to senior. And then if you're a parent, you're a mom, we have a moms and kids mentoring network. That's a support system for just like everything to do with motherhood, resources, or know what to do with your baby. When you're a new mom, what do you do? When a kid is growing, how do you teach them? How do they learn? How do they become smart? How do they interact and just become like independent? And just like as a mom, how do you run a business? How do you balance your life? So many aspects to that. And so as a whole community, our goal is that we want to help each other achieve goals, whether it can be academic goals, so you're trying to move from secondary to college for a bachelor degree, or master's, or PhD. We are there to provide the mentorship, because someone in our community is going to be there to help you, whether you want to do whether you have professional goals, something to do with your career, or like your business. We're there for you. And personal goals, it's like personal development, leadership, motherhood, communication. And so that is us. And we have seen people achieve their dreams. We've had, for example, we have people who, when I was a secondary school teacher at Olympia Secondary School, and now people we have someone who's in the US. They finished their masters, they are working in New York City now. We're in America now. And we have people who were at Olympia Secondary School. They went to UNZA. They're working. They're all like professional people, are owning businesses. And so that is really our goal. Like, we want people to advance in academics, in career, and also personally. And so my last final message for you is that you should dream big. Just dream so big such that it sounds impossible, but just dream it. That's step one. Step two, then, but start small. Okay, so you dream big to say, oh, next year I'm going to be at an American university with a full scholarship. That's awesome. Start small. What do you do today? A small step that you do today to get you there. A small step could be, let me find out how American application works. You go online, Google, how do you apply for this, and that. That is starting small. Okay, and so this starts with one decision, which I believe you have made today, to say, I believe I can do this, I can achieve what I'm dreaming. And so, for example, if you want to study in America, you can say, you have to believe and say, I can study in America. If you want to become a scientist or an engineer or entrepreneur, you say, I want to do that, or I want to make my family proud and help my community. You do want to do that. So how do you do this? Make sure you stay curious, stay open. When everything that you are learning in your school, outside with your family, everything contributes to something about your skills and your career. Like I said, for me, I did so many things, Changanya things in those 4 years, which just kind of seemed like isolated, but like they were really like important in helping me with like skills. And also read a lot. Right now, like I know you can go on social media just like scrolling, what people are doing, but there's so much information about just opportunities, schools, career, businesses. There are also short courses here and there. Those things really, really add up. And then surround yourself with positive people who can lift you up. So this is where like mentoring really comes in. You can join a mentoring group, you can join another group, and that's like really like helps you to like really think big and know like the possibilities are there. And so my final message to you is that take one dream that has been part of your heart, okay, and then first write it down. You should write it down. Don't just keep it in your head. You should write it down, okay? And then this week you have to now make one step. What should I do? So for example, read about a US university if you want to apply for a scholarship, join a mentorship group such as us, and then also think about improving your grades for like maybe like one subject, or deciding on to say like this is what I want to do, or join a volunteer somewhere, volunteer at church, volunteer at a nursing home, an orphanage. So because American schools like really like people who are like well-rounded. If someone has, for example, like just 6 points and that's all they have, they can actually say, sorry, we can't give you a scholarship, we can't give you admission. But if someone has maybe, I don't know, 20 points, 25, 30 points, but they are involved in their community, they help, they volunteer, they're very active, they love to help people. Those people are the ones who actually get admission, get scholarships. So think about that, and then don't wait until you feel ready to say, oh no, I want to start applying once I'm ready. You have to start with what you have, because your story, your Zambia story, it really matters to the world, and you have to just like start where you are, and then you figure things out. And this is why mentors are there for you, because they are there to help you and share their own experiences. Okay, so I had a little visit from my 3-year-old. So I want to say thank you so much for listening, and thank you to the organizers and to Miss Grace Kakoma for inviting me to come here. And so I invite you to join us, follow and connect our mentoring program, try the Surge USA Scholarship. You can receive the mentorship for if you want to apply to the US, and just know that it is very possible. And you can also hear success stories just like ourselves who were just in the same shoes as you were. And so together, let's keep dreaming, let's keep working hard, let's connect, and just know that the future has no limits. And so all the best, everyone, and we look forward to you joining us here not so long from now. Bye bye.